ending preventable child and maternal deaths means tackling the inequality that exists where too many of the poorest women, the poorest, the hardest to reach, are being left behind. And 800 women still die every day from things that we can prevent. And that's what we're really here to talk about tonight. With less than 1,000 days, actually it's on the wall at the UN, it's 827 days left before the end of the MDGs. We have a lot to do. In fact, we want to save the lives of 3.5 million children and 200,000 women. And that's why tonight is called Lives on the Line, because that's what we're here to talk about. There are successes though. Over the last 2 decades, both child and maternal mortality, which is really what we're here to focus on tonight, have nearly halved. That means that every day, 17,000 fewer children under the age of 5 die than did in 1990. And maternal deaths have fallen from 500,000 to just over 280,000 each year. And that doesn't happen by accident. That's due to political commitment, that's due to work on the ground, that's due to governments saying our children and our mothers do not have to die. That's what it takes.
Of dying in childbirth and not being there to raise my children is with me every single day. No woman should die during childbirth, and no child should have to grow up without their mother to love them, protect them, and nurture them, and make sure they have an education. Especially the majority of these deaths are preventable.
A lot of statistics, and sometimes, and you need the statistics to talk about the scale and the scope of what we're trying to do. It's really important. But each of those statistics is actually a mother and a child.
My name is Becky O'Kay. I will be moderating for you in this room. We're also moderating for you watching on live stream. So I think the screen has a line. Because we are being streamed live, if you're sitting in the middle aisle, do not stand up. Because if you stand up, your head will be on the live stream. So you do need to exit.
As the person on the panel that is currently in the private sector, I think I can speak to the importance of private-public partnerships when done well. And I think the recognition that the private sector, large corporations or small businesses are not nameless faces, engines of economic opportunity. They also are composed of people who actually care a lot, who recognize their responsibility, who have passion and values, and have a strong stake in health, in my case, or in broader social issues. And because standing this way from doing what needs to be done, I always say to not know what to do is tragic, but to not do what you know is devastating. And what Minister Tedros has really been able to do in Ethiopia is through a lot of disruptive innovation. Just get out there and do what we know and do it in the right way and get it done for thousands of people that most individuals thought could never be reached. So he's my hero.
We try, sometimes we say, let's start it at a small scale and let's see how it works, and then scale it up. Okay, it can be done that way, but you can only do that until you can prove that it's a best practice. As soon as you believe that it's a best practice, then you have to go for blanket coverage. That's when it will have an impact.
I think one of the major issues is recognizing that women matter and recognizing that babies matter. Sometimes I feel very cynical about it, and I think, well, this would have been, all these changes would have been made many years ago if it wasn't women's business. But I think that we now today recognize that when you have healthy women, healthy girls, you have healthy babies. And that makes for a good, solid foundation for society. And when we invest, when countries invest in their women and their newborns, there is a return on that investment. There's greater productivity.
That those additional results in the hardest to reach areas outweigh the additional costs of getting into them. So it is cost effective per dollar to be working as Ethiopia largely did in the most disadvantaged areas. And if we want to speed up progress by 2015 and beyond, we need to be reversing our strategy, get away from the national averages, collect data on where the greatest needs are, and then focus on the most disadvantaged areas. It's the right thing, and it's also the most practical way to make progress. We also need the accountability within governments, within our agencies, getting faster results, et cetera. But most of all, we need, as he was saying, the accountability to the people and to the people who are most in need. And that means, I think, I would hope one of the big things that can happen in 2014 is a change towards which we are all enabling the people in the communities, the local NGOs, the Save the Children, all of them, to be demanding greater accountability.
What we have noticed at the Independent Expert Review Group is that the countries that are likely to achieve both have actually got in place a very, very deliberate accountability mechanism that not only measures performance and evaluates performance, but has got an action-oriented feedback loop.
The only thing standing between you and getting home for tonight, the only thing, is a man I had the great pleasure to meet at the United Nations this week, so I know he is fantastic. Minister Heikki Holmes is the Minister of Development for Norway. Closing remarks, thank you.
Don't have a heart. You should use your brain. And if you use your brain, you should do as Christine Lagarde asked me, the IMF director asked me the other day, and say, well, I think I've broken the Nordic code, he said. You have a high participation in work life of women, and that is right. Because we've invested in gender equality, we've invested in kindergartens, we've invested in 14 weeks of fathers needing and having to take parental leave to make certain that you have the right sharing between women